in where jiu-jitsu is at, I think it could be potentially detrimental. I just don't think that there are enough people signed into one. It's not that there's one organization. So,
CJI fans, we are being joined by Luke Griffith, and he is going to be representing Team New Wave at CJI2. Luke, you've been keeping busy. I know you were supposed to have a match at WNO 28, but for you, what is currently your main focus for competition regimen-wise?
yeah, well, I mean, obviously, like you said, the match with Felipe was going to be a big one, but since that's been cancelled, I've kind of shifted my focus now completely towards CGI. I mean, it's coming up on us pretty quickly, so yeah, dedicating my focus completely to that now. I'm really excited to be a part of this, and yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing event.
Well, I guess that kind of answers my question, because I know that some articles had it as that match was canceled or that it would be postponed to a different WNO card. And I know WNO 29 is going to be in Miami, but since it sounds like you're focusing more on CJI, we're likely not seeing you on that WNO 29 card?
Yeah, it's definitely not out of the question for sure, but I just think with that being so close to CGI and Felipe wanting to do CGI as well, I don't know how fast his injury is going to heal. So we'll see what happens. There's if they can make that happen, maybe we'll see what happens. But I know they have a card in October as well. So if possible, I think it'd be a better option to do it on that October card.
Yeah, there's definitely only so much opportunity to be competing for $1 million grand total
Yeah,
prizes. So it's nice to
for sure.
be able
For
to
sure.
prioritize that. Have you guys been able to build out any type of slanted walls over at Roca?
We have not actually. We have not. So I'm sure the Kingsway gym is going to be opening soon. I don't know if Gordon plans to put anything in like that soon, but that's almost done. So hopefully we can start training for that as soon as that opens up. But obviously with Roca not being our gym, it was tough for us to put anything else in there for us to train with.
And the Kingsway new facility looks amazing. That's so exciting that that is going to be opening up in Austin, Texas soon. Could you just talk about how important New Wave and now Kingsway has been in your progress? Obviously getting such a big win against Victor Hugo. How much do you credit that to everything that you've been learning under John Danaher and Gordon?
Yeah, I mean, I think they deserve all the credit. I mean, for someone who I've been training all my life, but only really been able to make a breakthrough since training with John and Gordon. So they definitely deserve all the credit. I mean, obviously, it takes a lot of work to put in the time on the mats, but without that instruction and guidance from people who've done it, like obviously Gordon's the best to ever do it. So to have him be able to personally give me all the advice for all the matches, and him reserving, especially now that he's taken more of a backseat to competing and focusing more on coaching, is giving me a really direct coaching emphasis. So it's been amazing.
And when it comes to the room of assassins that you guys are training with, you also have the now first announced woman of the 100K tournament, Helena Crevar. So in general, how proud of you are her, of everything that she's accomplished, but especially now that she's locked in at that spot in what is going to be the highest paying tournament for women in jiu-jitsu history.
Yeah, no, I mean it's incredible. It's so cool to see Helena like doing what she's doing. I mean, the fact that she's only now just turned 18 and she has accomplished what she has is absolutely incredible. I mean, most of the guys her size in the gym are too scared to train with her. She's just an absolute beast. So yeah, no, it's incredible to see. I mean, she has a great family as well. Her parents are super involved with everything. They do as much as they can to help her be successful. So it's just knowing the whole family. It's it's really awesome to see how successful she has been, and will continue to be. I don't see anybody giving Helena many problems in the years to come.
Yeah, every time she competes, it's definitely a family affair. Her parents are there to support her. But I know that it was
Yeah.
also your dad that got you into jiu-jitsu. So when you were
Yeah.
5 years old, was it a whole lot of convincing to get you on the mats to wrestle someone else? Or were you really excited to get out there?
So I think in the beginning it was fun and games, and I mean it wasn't really. When we started training, it wasn't with other kids. So, like my dad built a gym at our house, um, and basically it was just my sister, myself, and my dad. So like at that age, also like my sister was beating me up. So like as a 5-year-old kid, you're getting beat up by your sister every day. It wasn't too much fun. So thankfully now I'm a lot bigger than she is, so that doesn't happen anymore. But no, I think, the beginning stages, I definitely wasn't my favorite thing to do, but I'm so glad that my dad actually forced me to carry on going because, yeah, it's been an amazing journey.
And now, what is his opinion on everything going on in jiu-jitsu? Because was he like completely on board when you told him that you wanted to be a jiu-jitsu competitor full time? And was he a little bit hesitant because he wasn't sure if there was going to be opportunity like there is today?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't know exactly what was going through his head because I mean, at the time, obviously, uh, in South Africa, there wasn't really much going on. And me and him we were sitting in a coffee shop with my grandma having coffee. And I saw like an advert post for ADCC trials. And it was the first time I'd ever seen anything like that. It was in Poland. And I was like, hey, Dad, like, what do you think of this? And he was like, like, I don't know. I don't think we're good enough. But after I saw that, I was like, I just kept like asking. I was like hammering away, like, let's just do it. Let's try it. Let's try it. And he was like, okay, like, fine, let's try it. And after that first time, obviously, I lost the second round. But it was kind of like a bug that bit, like both of us were like kind of excited. Okay, come, let's go home, train hard, like keep trying. And it kind of just started building from there. And yeah, no, he's been my biggest supporter. I mean, I still speak to him every single day. I mean, I've been away from home almost 4 years now, and I don't go a day without speaking to my dad. It's really awesome to be able to share, a passion that's both of us. He has other jobs that he does, but jiu-jitsu is a huge passion for him, and so for us to be able to share that bond and passion for jiu-jitsu is really awesome.
And you said it's just 4 years now that you've been away from home. Has it really only been 4 years that you've been under Coach John Danaher?
Yes, yes, yeah. So October will be 4 years.
Wow, it feels like you're such a big staple of the team. Like I feel like you've been there forever, but I guess 4 years is kind of like
It's
when
so
it all
weird to me.
started.
Sometimes it feels like forever, and sometimes it feels like it's not. It's been like a week. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of weird to describe it, but yeah, it's been amazing.
When we talk about all the different opportunities in jiu-jitsu right now, we have Polaris squads coming up. Helena is going to be leading the North American squad. We have AIGA as well. CJI is going to be in August. WNO putting on big platforms. What is it like for you as someone who's been competing since they were younger and participating in jiu-jitsu to see what jiu-jitsu has grown to up until this point?
I mean, it's incredible. I mean, I could if before I moved here, if you told me like, Luke, you'd be able to support yourself and like actually like have make a living doing jujitsu, I would never believe you. I mean, the fact that, and I mean like the visa that I'm on right now, I'm only allowed to make money competing. So like, it's not like I'm doing stuff outside of jujitsu to help fund things, which is kind of stressful to think about. But the fact is, I'm very blessed to be able to actually be able to pay everything and live my life solely based on competing in jiu-jitsu. So it's incredible to see how far the sport has come, and I'm excited to see where the next 10, 15 years is going to go. And I think it's important to have tournaments like CJI and all of these others pushing. Obviously the competition sometimes breeds a little bit of contempt, but I think it is important to have competing organizations because that is what pushes the sport forward. So yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of competition that I feel like pushes the envelope in terms of what we can really get fighters and what
Yeah.
really matters in terms of the business plan and how we are trying to monetize these different events. For you, there's a lot of different guys that you could potentially have a rematch with. And one of
Yes.
them is a guy like Nicky who you faced in an EBI format. So if you were to match up with him in any different type of format, which rule set would be your top one? And maybe you could list out like which ones are following
I,
that.
I definitely favor one long match. So the rounds for me is not my favorite. Obviously, it's exciting for fans to watch, but I feel like at high level competition, to be able to in 5 minutes take somebody down, get to good position, and then have to stand up and restart can be kind of frustrating. Especially if you have guys who are a very similar skill level. So if I had to face Nicky Rod, for sure, I think a 15-minute match would who's number one rule set would probably be my favorite. Even though I do think in the past most of my finishes have come within under 5 minutes, so it kind of depends. Like most guys that aren't like in that kind of top 5 to top 10, I feel like 5 minute match is fine because it's pretty easy to finish them. But as soon as you start getting into that like elite bracket of the top 10, it becomes like 5 minutes is pretty tough to finish. to finish a match. So I would probably say for Nicky Rod, I definitely would like a 15-minute match.
And when it comes to some of the haters on the outside, I saw in one of your Flow Grappling interviews, you mentioned that there were people in your DMs as soon as the Victor Hugo match was announced, you know, saying things like, oh, he's going to smash you, you're trash. Are you the type of person that goes into the requests and goes through those DMs, or how did they end up being able to contact you?
So some I don't know what happens, but sometimes like I'll go through the request a little bit just to kind of see what's going on. I never actually respond to people, and then sometimes like messages, maybe like what will happen is someone sends a nicer message like way earlier on, and I've responded to say like, oh, thank you, whatever the case is, and then it bypasses the request again. So all of a sudden he's switched up his view because maybe he's Brazilian and now I'm fighting Victor Hugo, so he's switched up his support to Victor, and now he's DMing me that I'm going to die and Victor's going to kill me. So I was kind of a little bit of both of those, but I'm not really the type of person who takes any of that stuff super personal. But it is good motivation for me because obviously I'm I'm not Brazilian, and all of those Brazilian fans definitely are very patriotic when it comes to supporting their fellow countrymen competing. But it's cool motivation for me just to push harder when people don't expect me to do well, and then to come back and do well is always good.
When it comes to the energy of the Thomas and Mack Arena come August 30th and 31st, what percentage of the audience do you think is going to be there to root for Team New Wave?
Not a very big amount, I would think, to be honest with you. I mean, obviously, I think we have a lot of fans, but I think with everything going on, I think there's also a lot of people who dislike our team very much. So I think there'll be a lot of people there to see us, hoping that we're going to lose. But I'm sure there'll be some people, they're supporting us. But either way, they're paying to see us. You know what I mean? Whether they like us or they don't like us makes no difference to me. I'm out there on the mat doing what I love every day, so that's all that matters. But I do think I'm really excited for the atmosphere in the arena. Obviously, competing in Thomas and Mack in 2022 ADCC. I'm really excited. Like going out in front of thousands of people to me is like one of my favorite feelings. Like as a kid growing up, I've never really been like a fan of attention, but going in there, it doesn't feel like the attention's only on me, but it's just a nice atmosphere where you still have people watching you get to perform, but it's kind of an exciting feeling. So I can't wait for that.
And what is your perception of how the Royal Rumble aspect is going to go down? You don't know who is going to come next in the quintet format, and the build up to it and the walkout, I think, is something that a lot of people are looking forward to in terms of entertainment.
Yeah, I think it's going to be awesome. I think it kind of plays to my advantage pretty well. I mean, I think a lot of people put a very big amount of emphasis on trying to study everything their partner does before a match, and you can kind of get to overthinking in those situations. Whereas in this situation, you can study whoever you want, but you have no idea who's coming out and who you're actually going to be competing against. So I think just to go in there confident that no matter who comes out, your skills are what you need to rely on, and not try to figure out what your training partner is going to or your opponent's going to do, because regardless of what they try to do, you still have to implement your game. So I think that's great. And yeah, I'm like, kind of hoping that I can take out like a whole team. That would be kind of sick.
That would be legendary. I'm ready to start making the bets on which fighter has the potential to take out an entire team. I made this joke already with Chris Wojcik, who recently engaged to his girlfriend, now fiance, about the exclusive contracts going around. And I first want to say congratulations to you. You had a big weekend, and now you're going to get to celebrate all summer long and in the lead up to CJI2. But what is your take on exclusive contracts within Jiu-Jitsu and not in a marriage sense?
Yes, yeah. Yeah, I think at this point in where jiu-jitsu is at, I think it could be potentially detrimental. I just don't think that there are enough people signed into one. It's not like there's one organization. So, uh, you know, uh, are you going to be able to fight enough times in 1 year to actually make a living? Because if you're fighting once or twice a year and you can't fight anywhere else, that's going to be pretty tough. Are you going to be able to fight new and exciting people every single time, or are you fighting random scrubs that now this promotion has to try and find just to fill up the spots, which is going to bring the viewership down? So in my opinion, I don't think that completely exclusive contracts are the way to go just yet. But if they could fix those issues where you're having, 5, 6 fights a year and you're getting new opponents each time, obviously I understand rematches happen if they're exciting rematches, big names. Um, if they could do that, then I think it would be a different story. But I don't think that's a possibility quite yet.
Yeah, and I kind of voiced that opinion that you said on whether or not there would be enough matches that a promotion can provide. I did it in a live chat, and we had one of your teammates, Davis Asari, say, I can't believe y'all think I want to compete more than 6 times a year or something like that. He's like just joking around. We know Davis is down for everything, but he was recently featured in UFC BJJ, and the recent episode came out. I think he was submitted by Andy Varela, so he's not going to have to deal with the chances of having to go exclusive because I think whoever wins UFC BJJ is exclusive. So now there's potential we could see Davis Asari on your guys' team. Is there any news coming up on that 77? I believe it's a 77 kilogram spot you guys are looking to fill.
Yeah, so I think from the last thing that we spoke about with John is that we were going to have kind of like an in-house trials, I guess, um, to have, I guess, Taza, Davis, Jason, and Gary. If Gary wanted to compete, he would get priority, obviously, because he's a senior. So depending on whether he wants to do it or not. But between those other three guys, to have, I guess, like kind of a round robin tournament to see who would come out on top and get the spot. That was the last that I heard us discussing about. So I don't think anything's changed from then.
Wow, that's going to be very exciting. And I think so far we know that the 66 kilogram spot is likely going to Dorian Oliveira's.
Yes.
77 kilogram, we're going to be working on the trials. And then could you just list out 88, 99, and over 99?
Yeah, so as far as I know, it's Giancarlo 88, myself minus 99, and then Big Dan Manasuyu at plus 99. So that's going to be the squad.
We're just so
Yes.
lucky that New Wave is going to be part of the squad. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be calling it Kingsway. I think they had already built out your guys' merchandise or everything. But how are you feeling about the squad that you have going in?
I'm feeling really really confident. I think we have a lot of tough guys. Dorian is kind of unbeatable. I feel like at 77, just hard to submit. I mean, even if he's unable to get finishes, um, he's just so hard to hold down. He's so hard to submit. So I feel like he's a good anchor for us at 66. No matter who we get at 77, Davis is a killer, Taz is a killer, Jason is a killer, obviously, and he's still fresh in the jiu-jitsu game. So I'm really excited to see how he progresses over the next couple of months and years. Um, Obviously, with Giancarlo, it's two-time ADCC champion. So it's yeah, couldn't feel better about that. And then Big Dan is literally the biggest human being in jiu-jitsu. I mean, yeah, it's hard to get bigger than him.
Yes, and definitely the biggest heart as well. I interviewed him, and he is just the sweetest person ever.
Yeah.
When it comes to the idea of going home and kind of upsetting the whole jujitsu world, not upsetting, but like it would be pretty poetic if New Wave got the $1 million. How would Luke Griffith be spending his share of that $1 million?
Well, I think especially now with the recent engagement, I think it would be a smart move to put a down payment on a house. So I think that's probably where it would be going towards.
That's so exciting. Austin is going to be the home base for a long time, you think?
I think so. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, I'm definitely especially with the gym opening up right here. I still have at least 10, 15 years left of competing, hopefully. So yeah, I don't anticipate myself going anywhere else. So yeah, we'll get settled down over here.
That is so exciting. We are very lucky to have you guys part of CJI2. I think that what was able to happen with ADCC versus CJI and the growth we saw in the sport, it's only going to be multiplied with everything going on in the jiu-jitsu world now. And just out of curiosity, I know PGF has their season coming up for the 155 pounders. They're going to have another season coming up for the big boys in the future. Is that something that you'd ever potentially want to be a part of?
Yeah, definitely. I actually spoke to Zoltan after my match with Hugo because he was there watching. They have changed up the rules a little bit now with the whole season thing, so I'd have to kind of have a look and deep dive the rule set and what all the intricate details are. Um, but that's definitely something I'd be interested in. I mean, I think the prize is like what 100K or something like that for the team.
Yes.
Uh, something like that. So I mean, it's still a lot of money, and you know, I love competing. So if everything works out and the details are good, then I'm game for everything.
And is there anything you have coming up in the future, seminars or, you know, projects that you're working on that you want the fans to know about?
At the moment, sole focus is CJI right now. Unfortunately for everyone, we'll start to plan all that stuff a little bit afterwards. But yeah, right now we're focused on getting that $1 million.
Amazing. Well, we can't wait to see it. August 30th and 31st. All the action will be live and free on YouTube. Thank you so much, Luke.
Thanks, Alex.